Absolutely nobody outside of City wants Pep Guardiola to succeed.
This is basically really high highs and really low lows at the moment.
Everyone just thought he's going to walk in here, be the Messiah, and change everything. The City started the season so well. Guardiola came with such high expectations and he just hit the ground running.
10 wins on the bounce. Everyone, myself included, got a little bit carried away with themselves and thought, we probably pretty much won the league already here.
Maybe our expectations were heightened by that ridiculously good run, literally record-breaking run at the start of the season.
After that incredible start, they thought the sky was the limit, and the way that they've now dropped out the Champions League places, that's a little concerning.
The way things are at the moment, we've struggled in games and we're 10 points off the top of the league at this moment in time. The likes of Leicester away, Everton away have been particularly poor.
When you're someone like Guardiola, you have an immense reputation and you bring with you this expectation.
We were promised the earth with Pep Guardiola. We were promised he would come in and take the league by storm and be brilliant straight away and everything would be wonderful, and we didn't expect him to struggle, and that's been a real surprise.
I think the key element is that the players just aren't quite at the level that he wants.
I think he's been given a squad that is possibly, well, very much definitely past its sell-by date in terms of there's several over 30s in the team, and the style he wants to play is obviously incredibly intricate. So I think it's taken time for some players to learn that style in general. And
there's a huge bone of contention among City fans with the fact that we knew Pep was coming for 3 or 4 years, and the club should have been ready-made for him to step into. He should have had a squad that was perfectly suited to his style of play, and he hasn't had that.
It's that inability to sort of pick out players and replace them on a regular basis that they've failed to do. So I don't think you can put the blame too much on Pep Guardiola and what happened in the summer.
There's some responsibility, in my opinion, on the director of football a little bit as well for giving him a squad that is totally outdated and totally not suited to the way we play.
They've signed defenders in recent years that haven't been up to scratch. People like Nicolas Otamendi, Eliakim Mangala just aren't good enough, unfortunately. The goalkeeping situation was a problem of his own making.
The Claudio Bravo thing was always going to be a very emotional thing involved, given the fact that Joe Hart was genuinely a City legend.
Claudio Bravo hasn't worked at City. It's been a bit of a disaster, really, and I think Pep Guardiola has to take the responsibility for that.
I understand why we signed Claudio Bravo. I genuinely did, because I understand why he needs a keeper. He's comfortable and so on. But I kind of just wish he'd be a little bit better with his hands.
He wanted this ball-playing goalkeeper, and certainly Bravo is very good at that.
But for whatever reason, he's not settled in England so far.
His goalkeeping skills, he just isn't making enough saves.
Shots seem to be going in that are basically near the middle of the goal.
A lot of the time he concedes from the first shot on goal that he has to face, so that's become a real problem. City have defended really poorly all season. I think there's an argument to say that Guardiola has perhaps overcomplicated things at times and messed around with his formations and his team selections when perhaps a bit of stability would have been good in that situation. There's a lot of work needs to be done on the squad to get the team to what he would want it to be.
It is more difficult than the Liga, it is more difficult than Bundesliga, but to me the thing is, I think he wanted this.
We always knew that the Premier League was going to be Pep Guardiola's biggest challenge. He's done so well in Germany, in Spain, and there's a bit of a misconception that those leagues are easy to win.
In general, he is a fighter. I think he will realise that his reputation is on the line here. He knows that the perception that he's had it easy in Barcelona and Bayern Munich, and to an extent, it definitely is easier than managing Manchester City, because anything is easier than managing Manchester City. But I don't think he wants to walk away, because I think he realises he's a very intelligent person, that if he does, his reputation and his image in general will always be tarnished.
I think he has struggled with the Premier League, with the competitiveness of it. The top 6 teams in this league are 6 of the best teams in Europe.
If he can turn Manchester City into a Champions League winning side, Premier League winning side, that cements his position as possibly the greatest manager of all time.
Pep Guardiola's won 7 league titles in 9 years of management, which is freakishly good, and yet people forget that. People are very quick to undo his reputation based on his 6 months in England, where it's been, a mixed bag, to be fair. It hasn't been amazing, but it hasn't been terrible either.
Look at fans of other teams, they all want Pep to be a fraud, that is the buzzword. They all want him to fail, because people are convinced that kind of football won't work in the Premier League.
Look over at Old Trafford, everyone's sort of happy with the way things are going there now. They feel like they've got a real bit of momentum behind them. They're still 6th place and still behind City in the league. So in the overall season, Guardiola has done the better job at this moment in time than Mourinho has. Yet everyone's happy over there and everyone's disappointed with things over here.
You probably realise he stepped into this club here, Manchester City, and we break people. We make you a smaller version of yourself.
There's a lot of short-termism in football, and I think people need to be a little bit more patient.
It's going to take 2 or 3 years for Guardiola to truly have the team, the tactics, and what he wants from this Manchester City team.
I honestly wouldn't swap Guardiola for anybody in the world.